Welcome to my live teaching learning session of BECE 145 Indian Economy 1. Today is the first session of this subject Indian Economy 1. In this Indian economy, you will understand about what is the condition of Indian economy at present and what was the condition of Indian economy at the time of independence or Indian economy on the eve of independence. You know that at present, Indian economy is a very fast growing economy. And Indian economy is improving and achieving all these set targets. And all over the world, the image of Indian economy is increasing. And it is the fastest growing economy. But do you know about Indian economy on the eve of independence? What was the condition of Indian economy at the time of independence or under the Britishers' rule? Indian economy was very stagnant economy, backward economy, and least developed economy at the time of independence. We got independence on 15th August 1947. At that time, Indian economic situation was very bad. But after following some 5-year plans and right now Niti Aayog is going on, that's why Indian economy is moving towards the fastest rate of growth. In today's session, you will learn about the condition of Indian economy at the time of independence. So let us start from first topic, Indian economy on the eve of independence. You know that Indian economic policies focuses on economic policies of Britishers in India and their impact. Near about 200 years, Britishers ruled over India and they exploited Indian economy in each and every aspect, like in agriculture sector, industrial sector, service sector, and others. They exploited Indian economy. They exploited Indian economic resources. They concerned totally with protection and promotion of their own economic interest. Their main purpose was to reduce India into a raw material supplier for Britain's own rapidly expanding industrial base. They know Britishers knew that Indian economy was rich in natural resources and Indian economy was rich in raw material or agricultural products. And raw material was required for the Britishers' industrial sector because in England, first industrial revolution was occurred at near about 1700 1756. So the sole purpose of Britishers' economy was to extract raw material, to import raw material from Indian economy and export them finished goods means Indian economy was the good market for their industrial product. That's why they did systematic decentralization of India. Its impact was that India turned into supplier of raw material for every for very low prices and consumer of finished industrial products at much higher rates. You know that agriculture agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy, and India is the predominant dependent on agriculture sector. Agriculture is the predominant sector in Indian economy. Agriculture is the most occupation for most of the Indian families. At the time of independence, near about 75% people of Indian economy was engaged in agriculture sector. At present, more than 50% of the country people are still engaged in agricultural and its allied activities, which is known as primary sector. In India, agriculture contributes around 16% of total GDP at present. But at the time of independence, the contribution of agriculture sector in GDP was 55%. But at present, this contribution reduces from 55% to 16% in total GDP and 10% contribute in total export at present. India mainly export agricultural products like tea, coffee, jute, cotton, leather, and other agricultural products. That's the main reason India secured second position in worldwide in terms of farm output. About 75% people are living in rural areas. At present, near about 70% people are living in rural areas and 30% people are living in urban areas, and more than 50% of the country people are engaged in agriculture or farm activities and non-farm activities. So, geographical, about 43% of India's geographical area is used for agricultural activities. Next is causes for stagnation of Indian agriculture sector during colonial period or during Britishers era. What was the condition of agriculture sector during Britishers rule? At that time, agriculture sector totally changed. Britishers fixed land revenue system. Under this system, they started Jamidari system and they forced Indian farmers for commercializing the agriculture sector. And at the time of independence, when partition of country held, then most of the fertile land area went to Pakistan. And India got 80% illiterate population and less fertile land area during the time of independence at the time of partition of the country. So first system which Britishers started in agriculture sector for getting taxes or collected revenue, that system was Jamindari system. In this system, Britishers appointed Jamindars and they are the middlemen of farmers and Britishers. They collected revenue from farmers and deposited to the Britishers. They collected high amount of revenue and deposited a certain amount of revenue to the Britishers account and remaining portion they use for their own purposes. In this way, they exploited Indian farmers. And second thing, we started by Britishers during Britishers era, that was forced commercialization of agriculture sector. Under this, Britishers started commercialization of agriculture sector. In this, they forced Indian farmers to produce agriculture product not only for their self consumption, they must produce agriculture product for market and for exchange and for sale in the market. Production not only produce for self consumption, farmers should produce for exchange purpose or for sale purpose in market. And they forced Indian farmers to produce indigo, to grow indigo because they required indigo for their cotton or clothing industry, for coloring their clothes. At that time, occurrence of famines destroyed agricultural crops or food crops. Less self consumption, they forced farmers to produce less for self consumption and larger part for sale in the market or for exchange. And third system, which was started by Britishers rule, under Britishers rule, that was that they forced Indian farmers to produce mainly those crops which are required for their market, which are required for their industrial development. And at the time of partition of the country, food crisis existed in India. Rice food producing areas of West Punjab and Sindh went to Pakistan, which was the most fertile land area. That's why food crisis occurred in India at the time of independence. So this was the condition of agriculture sector during colonial period. Now next is agriculture sector on the eve of independence. At that time when India got independence from British rule, then Indian land system was very scattered and fragmented. At that time, small and fragmented land holdings existed in India. Land holding is the area of land held by a family. And at that time, land area was very scattered or fragmented. There was division of land. There was no limit of division of land at that time. And most of the farmers had only 2% land area or less than 2%, less than 2 hectare of land area. Those farmers who had only minimum or less than 2 hectare land area, they were called marginalized farmers. At that time, technology was very outdated or obsolete. Old techniques of production was used in agriculture sector. And next is inefficient use of fertilizers. There was no use of any modern technologies in agriculture sector. That's why agriculture production was very low. And agriculture sector mainly dependent on rainfall. Indian agriculture is still the gamble of monsoon. And at that time, Indian agriculture was totally or excessively dependent on rainfall. If there is a good rainfall, then crops will be much better produced. If there is a heavy rainfall, then flood will occur and it will destroy the agriculture crop. And if there is a very less rainfall held, then famines and drought situation will occur. So, Indian agriculture sector was totally dependent for irrigational facilities only on rainfall. There was no other source of irrigation facilities at that time in India. Don't did not have any type of resources for irrigation. Next is low level of production and productivity. At that time, output per hectare was extremely lower. Its reason was that in India, agriculture, most of the fertile land area during partition of the country went to Pakistan, and India got only less fertile land area and 80% of illiterate population. And in India, industrial sector was not developed during Britishers era. Agriculture was totally destroyed or extracted, or resources were used only for the benefit of Britishers country or for their own development. That's why in India, output per hectare was extremely lower. Next is there was a wide gap in between of owners of land area and tillers of the soil. There was a huge gap in between of land owners and tenants or tillers of the soil. Owners never shared cost of output, instead they shared output. And next is subsistence farming. At the time of independence, Indian agriculture sector was mainly called subsistence sector, or main objective of the farmers was to produce only for their self consumption, only for their own families requirement or need. Subsistence farming is that farming in which farmer produce crops only for their family members, only for their self interest, not for exchange, not for sale in the market. So, this is called subsistence farming. So, at the time of independence, Indian agriculture sector has so many features like small and fragmented land holdings. At that time, land holdings was very small and fragmented. Land was totally divided in small pieces. That's why agriculture production was very low. And farmers mainly used outdated technologies, old techniques of production. That's why agriculture production was very lower. And at that time, no irrigation facilities, no tube wells, and other irrigation facilities were available on the eve of independence, and agriculture sector was totally dependent on rainfall. And per hectare productivity of land area was also very low. And farmer only produce for their self consumption, not for exchange. That is called subsistence farming. And at that time, there was a wide gap in between of land owners and tillers of the soil. So this is the situation of Indian economic agriculture sector on the eve of independence. Next is Indian economy during 1950s to 1990s. This time period is also known as pre-reform period. because after 1991 onwards, time period is known as post-reform period. But before 1991, time period in Indian economy is known as pre-reform period. At that time, agriculture sector was predominant sector of the Indian economy, and agriculture sector played very important role in Indian economy. What is the importance of agriculture sector for Indian economy? Number one importance is that Indian economic agriculture sector is known as the backbone of Indian economy because most of the country people are getting employment opportunities in agriculture sector. They engaged in agriculture sector at the time of independence. 75% of the country people were engaged in agricultural activities. At present, more than 50% of the country people are engaged in agricultural activities or agriculture sector. That's why we can say that agriculture sector is the main source of employment, is the main source of income. Backbone of Indian economy. Agriculture sector is known as backbone of Indian economy because all the other sectors like secondary sector or manufacturing sector and service sector are dependent on agriculture sector. Without the development of agriculture sector, how industrial sector can grow? How service sector can grow? All these three sectors are interrelated with each other. And agriculture is the main sector which provide raw material to the industrial sector. Without the development of agriculture sector, industrial sector can't grow and service sector also can't grow. So that's why we can say that agriculture sector is the backbone of Indian economy. Next is share in national income. Agriculture sector, the share of agriculture sector in GDP or in national income at the time of independence, it was 55%. But at present, 16%. The contribution of agriculture sector in GDP is 16%, which is also very higher. If we see the developed countries' contribution in GDP of the agriculture sector, in India, 16% contribution of agriculture sector in GDP is still very higher. Next is agriculture provide employment opportunities because most of the country people are engaged in agricultural activities. It is the basis for industrial development because without the development of agriculture sector, industrial sector can't grow. And agriculture sector is the main sector which provide raw material to the industrial sector, and industrial sector converted it into finished goods or wage goods and provide it to the country people. It contributed in foreign trade also. India mainly export agricultural products, and at present the share of agriculture sector in total export is 10% near about. Next is it provide food grains which is very necessary for survival. Without food, no one can survive. Agriculture provide food grains and food crops for survival. So it is the main source of food and which is very necessary thing. Next is it play very important role in trade and services. So in this way we can say that agriculture sector is the main important sector in Indian economy and it play very important role in different aspects. Next is Indian economy on the eve of independence. On the eve of independence, what were the features of Indian economy? The main feature of Indian economy was at that time low level of economic development. You know that at the time of independence, Indian economy was stagnant economy, backward economy, and least developed or underdeveloped economy. At that time, agriculture sector was backward and agriculture sector was very in bad situation. Next is because fragmented land area, subdivision of land area, marginalized farmers, and less productivity in agriculture sector. The productivity of soil was also very low because no facilities of agricultural technologies, irrigational facility, fertilizers were not present at that time. And on the eve of independence, after adopting second five-year plan in 1956 and after following PC Mahalanobis model of growth, at that time capital goods or capital based industries were promoted, so developed industrial area sector, but this existed only during in second five-year plan, not before that. At the time of independence, industrial sector was also very in bad situation. At that time, low foreign trade, India was an open economy during Britishers era and at present now. But at that time, India's foreign trade was restricted or limited only for few countries, not for so many countries. That's why low foreign trade existed at the time of independence. And demographic condition was very adverse. At that time, birth rate was very high and infant mortality rate was also very high. And at that time, during 1951, India's population was 36 crore, which is now at present 145 crore, near about. And infrastructure was also very bad or underdeveloped or less developed. So these are the main features of Indian economy at the time of independence or on the eve of independence. Indian economy's development was very low at that time. Backward agriculture sector, backward industrial sector, low foreign trade, demographic condition was very adverse, and infrastructure was very underdeveloped and more dependency on primary sector for occupation or for employment, because at that time near about 75% of the country people were engaged in agricultural activities. Next is features of occupational structure. Occupational structure consists three main sectors of the economy. Number one is primary sector, which is known as agriculture sector. In primary sector, we include farming and non-farming activities, all the agricultural activities and its allied activities like farming, cropping, mining, quarrying, fishing, animal husbandry, dairy farming, etc., which provides raw material to the industrial sector. And India, you know that predominant of agriculture sector exists in India. Second sector is known as manufacturing sector. Manufacturing sector is industrial sector. There are so many types of industries at present in India, like large scale industries, small scale industries, cottage industries, and medium sized industries. And we can classify all these industries according to the investment level. If there is a huge investment, there is a no limit of investment, that is called large scale industry or big industries. If investment is restricted from 1 crore up to 5 crore, that is called small scale industry. If investment limit is 5 crore up to 10 crore, that is medium size industry. And if investment limit is 25 lakh only, that is called cottage or tiny industries. So industrial sector is the main sector which provide finished goods to the country people. And third sector is service sector. Service sector is also known as tertiary sector. And in this sector, we include services like banking, insurance, transportation, communication, shipping corporation, etc. And all these three sectors are interconnected with each other. So, each and every economy has these three sectors, and their country people are engaged in these three sectors. But in India, here occupational structure is very lopsided structure or one-sided structure, because in India there is a predominance of agriculture sector, and most of the country people are getting employment opportunities in agriculture sector. At the time of independence, 75% people, or near about 80% of the country people, were engaged in agricultural activities. At present, more than 50% of the country people are still engaged in agriculture sector. That's why we can say that agriculture is the predominant sector of the Indian economy. Agriculture is the main primary source of occupation. 75% population engaged in agriculture sector. Manufacturing and service sector account for 10 and 15 to 20% respectively. And imbalanced economy, because when most of the country people are engaged in agricultural activity or dependent on agricultural sector, that is called lopsided occupational structure, in which one sector providing more employment opportunities, but other sectors are contributing less in employment generation opportunities. Next is growing regional variations. Many states witnessed shift from agriculture sector to manufacturing and tertiary sector. It means regional variations are growing, and some states are regionally underdeveloped, or regional imbalances existed in different regions of the country. So, this is known as growing regional variations. Some states are very much developed, and some states are still very backward. What is the reason behind that? The main reason is some states have fertile land area, like Punjab, Haryana, UP has more fertile land area. That's why they are producing more farming crops and getting more income. And in some states, their geographical condition and some other natural factors, resources, due to these regional variations existed, and regional disparity occurred in different states of the country. Next is policies of British rulers that led to exploitation of Indian economy. At that time, no protection was provided to India's infant industries. Infant means small or tiny industries. So during Britishers era, no protection was provided to India's infant industries for a quite long time. Heavy import duties were imposed on the use of Indian ships for trading between England and India. Britishers exploited Indian economy from both sides. One side is that they use Indian agriculture sector for raw material as a raw material for their own industrial development, and second is they exported India's agriculture product to England at lower price, and they import industrial production of England to the Indian economy and provide it Indian economy at higher prices. So heavy import duties were imposed on the use of Indian ships for trading between England and India. Next is financial and banking institutions were not promoted in the country. It means during Britishers era or colonial rule, financial and banking institutions were not developed and service sector was adversely affected during Britishers rule. Next is low level of economic development under the colonial rule. India had an independent economy before the advent of the Britishers rule. Though agriculture was the main source of livelihood for most of the country people, yet the country's economy was characterized by various kinds of manufacturing activities. India was particularly well known for its handicrafts industry in the field of cotton and silk textile, metals, and precious stone work, etc. India was very rich country before colonial rule, but Britishers exploited India's resources, and after independence, Indian economic condition was stagnant, very bad, and India was known by underdeveloped economy or backward economy. But before the colonial rule, before starting of the colonial rule, Indian economy was independent economy, and Indian economy was mainly dependent on agriculture sector. It was the main source of livelihood, and industrial sector of the Indian economy was also very well developed before the colonial rule. Handicrafts industries in field of cotton and silk textiles, metal and precious stones works, India was particularly well known for these manufacturing products or industrial products. Foreign trade. What was the condition of foreign trade? India has been an important trading nation since ancient time, but is pursued by the colonial government adversely affected the structure of the foreign trade, composition of the foreign trade, and volume of India's foreign trade. Structure of the foreign trade was very lopsided. Composition includes the items of exports and imports. Composition tells us about The items. It means what items we are exporting to the other countries and what items we are importing from the other countries. During Britishers' rule, at that time, India's foreign trade was very restricted, and particularly it held in between of India and England, because England imported India's raw material for their industrial development, for their industrial production, and England exported finished goods to Indian economy at higher price and imported Indian raw material at lower price. In this way, Britishers exploited India's wealth, and the drain of wealth existed at that time. And volume of India's foreign trade tells us about the amount, how much they are exporting and how much they are importing. So foreign trade play very important role in Indian economy, and India has been an important trading nation since ancient time. But at the time of Britishers' rule, restrictive foreign trade policies pursued by the colonial government or British government, which adversely affected India's foreign trade structure, composition, and the volume of India's foreign trade. Next is state of foreign trade during the colonial rule. At that time, Britishers had the monopoly power on foreign trade. Britain maintained monopoly. Monopoly means when only single seller has power to operate all activities, control over all those things which held in country. So Britain maintained monopoly power over India's exports and import. As a result, more than half of India's foreign trade was restricted to Britain. It means India could not freely trade to any other countries, and India could not freely import or export goods and services to other nations except Britain. At that time, more than half of the India's foreign trade was restricted to Britain or England only. And Britain was the net exporter. India was the net exporter of raw material and importer of final goods at the time of colonial rule. India exported raw material or agricultural products for the development of Britain or England industrial sector. And how these exports and imports happened at that time? Opening of Suez Canal. In 1869, Suez Canal opened by Britishers for smoothing the foreign trade process and avoided to sail around Africa and reduction in cost of transportation. Next is drain of Indian wealth. Huge export surplus due to huge export volume. Export surplus was used by Britishers. When India was exporting more than imports, then India should get more benefit. But during Britishers era, during Britishers rule, export surplus used by Britishers for their own benefit. Export surpluses used to benefit Britishers to incur administrative expenses, to import invisible items like services, and to incur expenses of war fought by British government. It means The benefit which is which was received by Indian economy through exports, but used by Britishers for their own purpose. In this way, Britishers drained India's wealth and exploited India's foreign trade sector. Next is demographic condition. What was the condition of population or demographic condition at the time of independence? Demography. Demography means population. You know that at present, India has ranked first in population. India is the first most populated country in the world after. But before that, India ranked only second after China. But at present, India got first position in this population growth. Various details about the population of British India were first collected through a census in 1881. First population census, counting of population, total number of population, how much population was at the time of colonial rule. The first population census was started in 1881. The year 1921 is described as the year of the Great Divide. Great Divide year is that year because after 1921 onwards, India's population growth remains always positive. But before 1921, India's population growth was negative. From this year onwards, population has been growing continuously and rapidly. High birth rate and death rate. It was 48 per thousand birth rate and 40 per thousand death rate at the time of independence. High mortality rate. It was around 18 per thousand. Low life expectancy. Life expectancy rate was very low. It was near about 32 years average. At present, life expectancy is 65 years. But at the time of independence, life expectancy age was only 32 years. And mass illiteracy or huge illiteracy. According to the census of 1941, which was last census under Britishers' rule, literacy rate was only 17%, which was very lower. At present, near about 60% or 70% of the country people are literate. Not 100%, but 70% people are literate, not highly educated. So mass illiteracy existed at that time. This is called demographic condition, in which we can say that at that time the condition of population was bad because at that time life expectancy was very lower, birth rate was higher, death rate was also very higher, infant mortality rate was higher, illiteracy was also very higher. So this is the bad indicator for the development of the country. Next is industrial sector. India could not develop a sound industrial sector during Britishers' rule. Even the country's world famous handicrafts industries declined by Britishers. No commercial modern industries base was allowed to come up, and this sector needed modernization, diversification, and increased investment. But under the colonial rule, India's industrial sector was totally destroyed. Colonial or Britishers abolished India's handicrafts industry, and India was the most famous, world famous country, known as world famous country in handicraft industries, which declined under the Britishers' rule. And no other commercial modern industrial base was allowed to come up. And industrial sector, you know that it is the most important sector for growing at fastest rate. If we want to achieve high rate of growth, then we must have to improve our industrial sector. But under the Britishers' rule, industrial sector was badly affected by the colonial rule or Britishers, because they don't want to establish good industrial sector in Indian economy, because they wanted to improve their sector, their own industrial development. That's why they colonialized Indian economy for getting raw material for their industrial activities and exported these finished goods to the Indian economy. That's why they exploited Indian economy in a very large scale, or badly affected India's all the sectors of the economy like primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. Next is tariff policy. What was the type of tariff policy or foreign trade policy adopted by Britishers? Britishers impose heavy duties on imported items and impose less duties on exported items, because India exported raw material to the Britishers and India imported finished goods from Britishers. When India imported finished goods from Britishers, they imposed more duties. In this way, they drain India's wealth. And get when they um, use India's raw material, and when India's export raw material to the Britishers or England, it was totally tariff free. Means England did not want to pay more money to Indian economy. Tariff free exports of raw material from India to Britishers and heavy duties of exports of handicrafts imposed by Britishers. In this way, Britishers drain the India's wealth. Next is role of industries in the economic development. The industrial sector of the Indian economy can be classified in two main categories. One is organized industries and second is unorganized industries. Organized industries in India, 90% or more than 90% of the country people are engaged in unorganized sector. National income during colonial period. Under the colonial period, they never made sincere attempt to estimate India's national income and per capita income. There were some individual attempts which were made to measure They are as follows. Like Dada Bhai Nauroji firstly estimated India's national income, and we can calculate per capita income with the help of national income. If national income is divided by mid-year population, then we can calculate per capita income. At that time, Dada Bhai Naroji, William Digby, Findlay Shiraz, Dr. V.K.R.V. Rao, and R.C. Desai, they helped to estimate India's national income and per capita income under Britishers' rule. Conclusion. In today's session, we have discussed about the condition of Indian economy at the time of independence and under the Britishers' rule or colonial rule, what was the condition of Indian economy, and in all the sectors like agriculture sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector, what was the condition of these sectors, what was the condition of foreign trade and demographic condition during Britishers era. The road that India took to get its independence shows how nations and its people changes in order to adjust to the world and make things at home as just and favorable as possible, even if it means separating their nation in half to do it. The Indian people involved during their independence movement suffered a great deal in order to have their freedom. Although it took two world wars for them to get enough momentum to win their independence. Situation was very bad at the time of independence, and all the sectors of the economy were badly affected by Britishers' rule. No one sector was much developed during Britishers' era. But after independence and after adopting strategy for economic development, economic planning, India at present is the fastest growing economy in the world. And at present, India's economic growth is improving or increasing. You know what is the difference between economic growth and development? In Indian aspect, we must have to study economic development because economic development is a very broader concept. When national income, per capita income, and social welfare of the country people increases, that is called economic development. But economic growth tells us about the increase in national income and increase in per capita income. Economic growth includes only two things, that is national income and per capita income. But economic development includes three main things like increase in national income, increase in per capita income, and increase in social welfare. So, economic development includes economic growth, but it also includes some changes like structural changes, technological changes, and institutional changes. In this way, we can say that economic growth is a necessary condition for economic development, but not a sufficient condition for economic development. So we can conclude from today's session that we have discussed about the condition of Indian economy on the eve of independence and during Britishers' rule. In next session, we will discuss about the features of underdeveloped country, developed countries, and developing countries, and how we can grow. What are the main determinant factors for economic development? All these topics we will discuss in next session. Thank you.